Mary Harrington wrote how she mistook freedom for feminism in her new book about feminism against progress. She shares her early life. She was very much feministic. She went to university school in Oxford, learned all these things, and made her life being anti-capitalist, genderqueer, all these things in the 90s that were so important to her, and she dedicated her whole life to that and thought if she could just get some success, if she could just change the world with her policies and her eco-activisms and everything. But then Mary got pregnant. Then Mary got pregnant and had a kid she was responsible for. No longer was the world her kid to save. Now she actually had a kid to take care of, and her priorities changed. Her policies changed. She thought differently about value and everything else. She no longer wanted to be a slave to society and what it said was best. She wanted what was best for her and her child and her family. She grew up, in her words. Psalm 128. How blessed is everyone who fears the Lord, everyone who is walking in his ways. You can walk your own ways. You can walk the way of the world for years, but then God blesses you and God gives you things that change your mind and you change your perspective. It's easy to be selfish about your own objectives, but when God gives you a kid, God gives you responsibility, you start to think a little differently. What do I really want? Is these societal goals, are those really lasting for me, or am I just part of a system that recruits more and more but doesn't produce anything better? No, the Lord, how blessed is everyone who fears the Lord, everyone who is walking in his ways. God wants eternity for Mary and her child. God wants grace and forgiveness for you and I. He doesn't want you just part of the system. He wants you part of heaven. And he has a life and a purpose for you, different from what you learned at Oxford, but lasting forever.